Alright, I'll start the video by saying I love basketball. I watch basketball 7 days a week. I'm always watching. I think the game has more talent in it than there's ever been in the game. And I think the game is awesome to watch, and I still love the sport. So this is not a video to bash on basketball. But with that being said, here's the free throw attempt leaders in the NBA up until this point in the season. Flopping and foul baiting. I'm just gonna say it. Y'all already know where I'm going with it. But you'll see right up here we have the usual suspects up top: Luka Doncic, SGA, Denny Avdia, Austin Reeves, James Harden, Devin Booker, Jimmy Butler. These seven guys all have something in common. I won't say it yet, but y'all probably know what it is. Then we get into Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, Jokic, Maxey, Anthony Edwards. Y'all may have some advanced stats for this, but I think Tyrese Maxey and Anthony Edwards, they get in the paint just as much as Luka, SGA, Denny Avdia, Austin Reeves. The only difference between Maxey, Jokic will flop a little bit. Maxey, Anthony Edwards, Jaylen Brown, Cade Cunningham, those guys just won't exaggerate contact. Once they get into the paint, they just drive and try to finish strongly through contact. And unfortunately, when you do that, you just don't get as many foul calls as these guys up top that will exaggerate contact and flop and foul bait. People hate to have the conversation, but it just kind of is what it is up there. It's ridiculous with Luka. He's leading the league with 12.2 free throws a game. Then SGA's at 10. He's two full free throws behind Luka Doncic. I say all the time, I'll blame the officials in the league more than I blame the players. Luka and SJ are amazing players. I'd love to have them on my team. They're excellent at basketball, but they do flop. They do foul bait a whole lot out there. They flop and foul bait, and they're also excellent at drawing legit fouls, but you kind of get on that line in the middle. The line gets a little blurred for the officials, and they wonder, was that a foul? Was that not a foul? And it'll frustrate me because the players up top, all five of these guys, Doncic, SGA, Advia, Austin Reeves, James Harden, they're all notorious for foul baiting and flopping. The whole NBA knows that. The officials know that. So it'll frustrate me that the officials can't go into a game when they're officiating SGA or Luka. I know, you know, we all know these guys flop and foul bait, and they're notorious for it. So I understand why referees can't go into the game and say, okay, I'm officiating Luka, I'm officiating SGA tonight, Austin Reeves, Harden. I'm not aiming at one guy so much, but whichever foul drawer, is that a nice way to say it? Whichever flopping foul baiter the officials are officiating that night, I don't understand why they reward them for the flopping and foul baiting instead of watching them extra closely and knowing, hey, this guy's known for exaggerating contact, so I'm going to watch out for that. I'm a professional referee. I'm going to watch out for the exaggerated contact, and if they do exaggerate the contact, I'm going to know they're known for doing that, and then maybe not give them that call, for that flop or that foul baiting play they may have made at that point. That's kind of how I feel about it. And I always say I'm more mad at officials in the NBA than I will be mad at individual players, because if Luka played on my team, SGA, whoever it was, and they were flopping and getting to the free throw line, I would just probably say, yep, that was a flop, bro. We're going to the free throw line, and you can't do anything about it. I make the point, I'm a Spurs fan. Manu Ginobili is one of my favorite players of all time. And if I'm watching a game with one of my boys and they say, hey, Ginobili flopped on that play, that was a hell of a flop. We watch the replay. No one touches Ginobili, or he exaggerates some contact in a crazy way. I'm not going to say, you just don't know basketball, bro. That's not a flop. Like, what are you watching? We're both watching the same play. We saw Ginobili not even get touched or barely get touched and throw his head back and exaggerate the contact in a crazy fashion. I always mention Ginobili, I don't know if he invented the head snap, but you already know what I'm talking about. Somebody bumps your shoulder, head snaps back. When Ginobili came in, he had his long, beautiful hair, and he would snap back, and his hair is going all over the place on very minimal contact. And I love Ginobili. That's one of my favorite players of all time. If you tell me Ginobili sucks at basketball, I'll say you're stupid. If you say Ginobili's great at basketball, but he flops a lot, I'll say exactly. You are right there. Being a flopper doesn't mean you're not a great offensive player, and being a great offensive player doesn't mean that you never flop. So that's real frustrating me when people will just, like I said, we're watching a game together. Whatever player it is, they obviously flop. We all saw it, and they want to tell me, you just don't know ball, bro. That was not a flop. When we all saw what happened. I already made a video about Luka, probably my last video if y'all want to check it out, but he's at 12.2 free throw attempts per game. I won't get too much into it, but his basketball style is it's just ugly to watch. He's trying to he focuses more on drawing fouls than he focuses on actually making baskets. With Ginobili, some of the players from 15 years ago, whatever it is, a lot of those floppers, they would see an opportunity to flop and they take the opportunity. Say you're going in, you get some contact, you exaggerate the contact, and then you get a free throw because you exaggerate the contact. But with Luka, he's it's not like he's just playing basketball. He sees the opportunity to flop and he takes the opportunity. He's actively trying to put himself in a position where he can flop. He's actively just foul baiting the entire game, and it's just ugly to watch. That's one thing that Ginobili wouldn't do at least. Yes, he would flop a lot, but his entire Luka's entire offensive plan is just to flop and foul bait, and he's just fishing for it all game and just crying. It is just ugly to watch. I'll get off of Luka though. But yeah, I mean your top seven free throw attempts per game, guys: Doncic, SGA, Denny Avdia, Austin Reeves, James Harden, Devin Booker, and Jimmy Butler. They're all notorious for flopping and exaggerating contact for the whole top seven. The difference between these top seven guys and Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, especially Nikola Jokic. Jokic gets absolutely hacked. He will flop and foul bait at times, but he should do it some more. He probably gets to the line more, especially Tyrese Maxey and Anthony Edwards. Those guys will just drive really hard. They get fouled as much as these top five guys, in my opinion. The only thing, especially Ant-Man gets fouled all the time, just doesn't get respect. Kind of the same thing with Tyrese Maxey. They'll get some free throw attempts, but if these two guys would flop and foul bait, they'd be right up here in the top five with these other guys up there. Maxey and Anthony Edwards, they get into the paint more than James Harden, and they just finish strong through contact instead of exaggerating the contact. And it's unfortunate they don't get rewarded for playing hard. Instead, they get less free throw attempts than the guys that are exaggerating contact and playing unethical basketball. People would say those guys get in the top 10 for free throw attempts. Again, Jokic is number 10. Jokic gets absolutely hacked every single game, but he just doesn't exaggerate the contact every single play. I have one quick one before we check out, just a quick example from their database, whatever you call it. I do have it muted, or NBA is going to send me to prison. But if we see on this play, here's SGA up top. He gets the ball. Here's Dylan Harper guarding him. Dylan Harper's a rookie. SGA is more of a veteran player. I'll leave y'all are entitled to your own opinion. In my opinion, SGA exaggerated that contact. He jumped forward. He proceeded to, if y'all can see me down here, he stuck both of his legs out like that, jumped forward in an exaggerated way, stuck his feet out forwards, which he never does when he shoots jumpers. This is a bad angle right here. You can still see the kick out. He kicks out both of his feet. Dylan Harper's like, what is going on? Yeah, just kicks them both out. Intentionally lands on Dylan Harper's foot. See it one more time. Again, this is a video on my channel if y'all want to check it out. If y'all look up SGA falls down versus Spurs, if y'all look up SGA flop, whatever y'all want to call this play versus the Spurs, the NBA, they've expunged this play. You're not going to find it other than this video that I put on my channel. But I was looking for it, a day or two after it happened. I was able to find this clip so I can make a video on it. But if y'all try to find this anywhere else, it's just gone. The NBA has expunged this. Here's SGA going up. Let's say Dylan Harper stops right here. Let's exaggerate. Let's say this whole thing right here is his landing space. Realistically, his landing space is right here, basically from his chest down. So we'll just say right there in between him is his landing space. Kicks his feet out a good 2 feet forward, intentionally lands on Dylan Harper's foot. Dylan Harper's in his own area. He just goes straight up and down, and Dylan Harper's in disbelief. He stops right there. And then, y'all can call it what you will. If I don't know ball, kind of showing right here, right there is his landing area. If I don't know ball, I don't know ball, guys. It's all good if y'all think that. But again, just the guys that exaggerate the contact and flop and foul bait a lot. It's really unfortunate that they get rewarded with more free throws than like an Anthony Edwards, a Tyrese Maxey, who just lives their whole life in the paint, but doesn't exaggerate that contact. But yeah, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 7 million subscribers. Again, I don't think flopping and foul baiting is out of control and just making the game unwatchable. The game is still awesome to watch. I love to watch the NBA action every night, but again, back to my point, I blame officiating and the league more because, again, we know SGA is notorious. We know Luka, especially Luka, is notorious for the foul baiting, foul drawing things. Again, that's not me saying these guys aren't good at drawing fouls, but the NBA knows they're very good at drawing fouls. The NBA knows they flop and foul bait a lot, so they're kind of right there in the middle. And, you know, 75, 80% of the time they do get fouled, but it's this 15, 20% of the time on plays like this where I just don't get it. I'm not an NBA official. I watched this play live. First time I saw it, it's not a foul. If anything, it's an offensive foul for SGA kicking out. They watch the replay. That's what frustrates me too. Coaches will challenge the play. They'll watch the replay. It's obviously, like this one's obviously not a foul on Dylan Harper. Then the officials will watch the challenge and they just stand on the terrible decision they made in the first place. Like it's going to damage their ego too much to go back on the call. But please like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 7 million subscribers. Let me know what you think about the free throw leaders, what you think about flopping and foul baiting in the NBA. Because again, the product's amazing, but Adam Silver could get with the officials. They could get together and, not get rid of this, but kind of cut down on some of these exaggerated flops and foul baiting calls. But we'll see y'all next time, though. Peace out.